Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar. We'll just give it a couple of more minutes for others to join, and then we'll begin the webinar. Thanks for joining, and we'll just give it a couple of more minutes before we begin. Good morning again. I think we can start the webinar now. Thank you, everyone, for joining this webinar. This is going to be a joint webinar between Milestone, Intel, VSS, and Allgovision. We are going to talk about how we can make the safer cities with our combined technologies and making use of artificial intelligence. I'd like to do a quick introduction of our panelists for today for this webinar. Myself is Haider Mohammed, and I'm the community manager for Milestone Systems covering Middle East, Africa, and Turkey region. I'll open it up for other panelists here to introduce themselves, please.
Hello, everyone. This is Ediz Altun. I am part of Intel IoT sales group and covering for EMEA and India region for partner scaling activities on smart cities and vision segments, and happy to be here. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rohit Kupchandani, Regional Sales Director for Video Storage Solutions covering Meta region and Indian subcontinent. My background is I've been in Dubai since 2002. I have more than 16 plus years of industry experience. Previously worked for companies like Milestone Systems, Avigilon, Pivot3, and EDN Storage, and have been deeply involved in very interesting safe city projects all over the globe. Today in our presentation, we are going to focus about how VSS completes the safe city solutions, combining technologies with Intel, Milestone, and Allgovision. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Aji Anirudhan. I'm from Allgovision. I head the sales and marketing for Allgovision, and it's based out of our headquarters in US, the US headquarters. Happy to be here for this webinar, and I'll be talking about our video analytics solutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the panelists. Let's begin the webinar. So I like to start off with talking about the safe city and safe city concept. As the technology has evolved, and if you look from where we began now, specifically talking about the video, in past years, it used to be just a video streaming from a edge device, optical sensor, which is camera, and recording, and then you are able to do live view and playback. But the technology has evolved. We have seen a lot of intelligence coming into even the video stream, which we'll talk about later in the webinar today. There's a lot of metadata information, and you can do, by applying artificial intelligence and machine learning, you can do a lot of, you can come up with a lot of innovative solutions. So the scope of these safe cities is very vast. It's very broad, based on one particular city requirements, you can do a lot of innovative solutions, be it just managing the traffic, be it object detection. Now we see the evolution of IoT, temperature sensor, humidity sensors. So not just the optical device, which is related to video, we see the data inputs coming from many other edge devices like IoT. So you have predictive analysis, parking management systems, so on and so forth. So depending on the city's requirement, your requirement can be very broad. You can bring in a lot of innovation, a lot of technologies that can work together to fulfill your requirements. But what is important here is there's still some core challenges that that are very vital for any safe city. For example, traffic monitoring, public safety, criminal activities, incident response, and operational efficiency. And we'll talk about some of these challenges and how we can use our technology with artificial intelligence to overcome some of these challenges. Like I mentioned, the scope and concept is absolutely vast. There's so much that you can do in this smart and safe cities, depending on your requirement, depending on one particular city requirement. For one city, it could be traffic monitoring, that is of most importance. For other, it could be safety related issues. But the idea is, how do we implement the collaborative systems, the systems where you can correlate the information, where you can have collaborative ways of working? And that's where the open video management platform comes into play. Milestone is the open platform that helps us, that acts as a glue in bringing all these technologies together under one platform and helps you implement these innovative solutions that fulfill your need for today and for tomorrow as well. So what is Milestone XProtect Open Video Management Platform? Milestone XProtect is the video management platform that helps you bring those complex puzzle pieces of your systems together. Like I mentioned, the scope can be very vast. You're talking about traffic management system, you're talking about video analytics, you're talking about parking management system, access control system, so on and so forth. So there's so much that you can do. And you can bring all these niche technologies coming from our technology partners, will be showcased today later in the webinar, on one platform, and you can really implement your very innovative solutions that can fulfill your requirements. And you can really scale up, bring on new technologies, new niche technologies onto your platform, so that you can have your requirements fulfilled today, and you can even look into, as the technology evolves, you can even bring on more innovations as you progress, as you get more technologies. Like I said, it's the era of IoT. We're talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning. So the open platform provided by Milestone, along with its community partners like Allgovision, VSS, and Intel, that we're going to showcase and later and talk about later today in the webinar, you can really implement innovative solutions for your needs. With all these technologies, like I mentioned, the IoT, there's so much data that we talked about. So you need the platform that is reliable, that is scalable, that can really perform. So you need a very cost-efficient way of implementing these platforms, your systems. And Milestone, we are proud to say that we are one of the highest performing VMS in the industry today, having 3.1 gigabit throughput on a single recording server. So you can well imagine how many cameras you can load on a single recording server. You can really optimize your backend infrastructure for your requirements. You can have automated tasks, obviously, with these multiple systems, multiple artificial intelligence systems working together, a lot of machine learning algorithms, IoT sensors, a lot of technology working together. You need some automation. You cannot expect a normal operator sitting in the control room to manage and control each and every aspect of your system. So you need automation in your system, and Milestone brings that by default to its platform by having rule engines, by having automated alerts. You can implement automated standard operating procedures for your system, so it can really help you in day-to-day tasks, and you can perform your tasks with high efficiency. It's provides you a lot of flexibility. So you have different clients. For example, you have thick clients in your control room. You can have mobile clients. So you're fully flexible to operate as you like. you can pretty much have your surveillance systems on the go. So that's the kind of flexibility that Milestone as a platform offers you. I'll now hand it over to Idris so that he can talk about Intel and what Intel offers for smart city, how their technology can really help us in the making our cities safer. So I'll just pass on the control to Idris. There you go, Idris.
Thank you, Haider. Thank you, Haider. Uh, uh, Very good overview of how Milestone is enabling safer cities globally. Thanks for that. Let me talk to you a little bit about the Intel's view. Let's see if I can move on. Yes. Went a little bit too far. Let me go back. Yes. So I would like to talk to you about very quickly Intel's vision and where we are operating in the ecosystem. And I really am going to talk very short period of time, and I will let VSS and Allgovision to talk about their own solutions, because that's where the action is happening, and we are supporting strong partners like VSS, Milestone, and Allgovision on the technology front to enable cost-effective, power-efficient artificial intelligence solutions to address some of the smart city challenges. But to begin with, I would like to draw your attention to the importance of edge computing a little bit. You know, Intel is offering AI computing solutions end to end, from devices to the networking, and then to the data center, and as well as cloud. But more and more, we see a trend that data computing and analytics are happening in the edge devices. And there are some market research data available to show that. For example, of all the data that we can think about that are being analyzed, stored, and managed, almost half of it, 45% of all the data that are being analyzed, is going to be managed at the edge. Say that it is because of the latency issues or the cost of the networking and bandwidth issues, or say that it is because the data is so mission critical and you don't want to share. So more and more we see the computing requirements are moving to the edge, and the research previously showed that last year 45% of all the data is going to be processed at the edge. Also, the powerful MVRs, let's say, that are manufactured by VSS using Intel processors, which have Milestone video management software that do all the traditional video management workloads, like decoding, encoding, transcoding, and all. We see more and more these devices will have AI capabilities. So in the same device, you will be able to do manage the video, as well as when you get the metadata, you can analyze the data using video analytics technologies and deep learning technologies, and have meaningful data, and then automate some of the processes on the edge. And the research shows that three years from now, 2023, 43% of all the devices that are deployed on the edge will have AI capabilities. And finally, which is in line with the second number, edge AI capable devices or AI capable edge devices in the overall IoT ecosystem is going to grow by 15x. So in 3 years from now, we will see 15 times more devices on the edge, which will have AI capabilities. It could be cameras, it could be gateways, it could be servers by VSS, but more and more we will see more AI capable devices on the edge. So moving on, to where Intel is playing in those markets. And no need to state that Intel is not offering anything to the end user community. And we are an ingredient company, we are a technology company, and we are working with partners to provide our cost-effective, power-efficient solutions to the marketplace. So what we do is we work with VSS to help them manufacture latest and greatest technology-based servers, and we work with Milestone to optimize their video management software based on Intel technology, and we work with Allgovision to optimize their deep learning algorithms to work best on Intel architecture, and then let them provide that solution to the market. But what is Intel is playing is also end-to-end. We have solutions for endpoint devices like Movidius processor-based cameras. They could be used, as well as some edge devices like gateways or servers, like from VSS, which can have Atom to Core to Xeon processors to manage the video, to analyze the video, and do some deep learning activities, and all the way to the data center and cloud environment. And for each of the segments, we have appropriate silicon solutions. For example, for endpoint devices, we have really low power solutions like Movidius, what we call VPU, which is vision processing units, which consumes really, really low power, like only 2 watts of power and very low cost, so that you are able to do artificial intelligence tasks at a very low cost, very low power way to solve some of the smart city solutions. And when you move from endpoint to the edge, you can have uh, core processor-based devices or Xeon processor-based devices from VSS, and then implement AI applications on the edge as well. And if you want to do more powerful use cases, you can use your data center and cloud environment where you still can have VSS servers powered by Intel processors and Milestone VMS software and Allgovision algorithms. You can have more complex tasks in the data center as well. And all these AI tasks are being done and being enabled by OpenVINO toolkit that I would like to talk about. OpenVINO is a software development tool developed by Intel, which is absolutely free of charge. And the aim of OpenVINO is to democratize the AI tasks end to end. So OpenVINO enables partners to do artificial intelligence tasks on CPU only, for example. So you don't actually need an expensive discrete GPU solution to run your artificial intelligence tasks, because what OpenVINO does is you can actually run your deep learning use cases on the CPU itself. If it is not enough, you can always use integrated graphical processing unit, which is embedded in the CPU, and do additional acceleration. And if you need more, you can always add Movidius-based acceleration cards, which actually we are going to talk about today, because all of Allgovision AI algorithms are optimized for OpenVINO and Intel silicon. And by using Allgovision software, you can use Intel Xeon processors to do AI inferencing, as well as existing graphical integrated graphical processing units, and also add additional Movidius-based acceleration cards, which are coming in PCI Express form factor, which VSS and Allgovision is going to talk about, and then do inferencing at a lower cost and lower power. So OpenVINO enables that low power, low cost AI based inferencing solutions to address some of the smart city solutions. And we are really excited today to talk to you about some specific use cases that we can use those low cost, low power solutions for smart cities. Um, My last slide is about the Opomina performance gain and how Intel is committed to artificial intelligence influencing workloads. Intel introduced Opomina little over than 2 years ago, and we are upgrading and introducing new version of Opomina every quarter. That means every quarter we are improving the performance for the end users. So when we compare the performance as of now compared to 2 years ago when we introduced Opomina, we see almost 26 times more performance on the same cost processor. So when you think about 2 years ago, if you were using Xeon Silver processor, and right now at the same cost, you are using second generation Xeon Silver processor. But without increasing your cost on the hardware, without using any additional acceleration, just doing everything on CPU, you get additional 25 times more performance on the artificial intelligence inferencing task. And I can say that it is improving every quarter when we introduce new version of Opomina. And happy to say that Allgovision, all the way on their algorithms, are using Opomina in full blown, and they are taking advantage of using Opomina on their AI algorithms. And VSS hardware solutions, server solutions, are all approved and verified for Opomina and all kind of Intel Movidius-based acceleration cards, as well as obviously existing CPUs that we are using traditionally. And those are verified and approved solutions that anyone can take advantage as of today. And obviously, when you couple it with the Milestone video management software with XProtect, you can have a holistic management environment where you can store, record, manage, manipulate your video data, as well as add some analytics and do some intelligence for that video data as well. So that's all that I would like to talk to you about, and I am looking for your questions at the end of the webinar. And if you would like to reach out after the webinar, please do so as well. And giving the word to Rohit from VSS. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Haider. Thank you, for the great introduction. Really, you could see today how vast the safe city vertical is, and lots of challenges, and how Milestone is addressing some of these challenges, and the beauty of the solutions that Intel offers from a silicon perspective, and also from the the VPUs that they speak about. We'll tell you a little bit more about how VSS. First of all, who's VSS? VSS is a company established in Chicago, United States of America. We're part of PCD International, which has 20 plus years of industry experience. We've deployed 100,000 plus systems across 75 plus countries. What we do is we supply pre-engineered video surveillance and analytics hardware platforms, right? Not only they are built on scalable Intel processors, but they utilize all the capability that Intel can bring to the table, like Edis introduce you to OpenVINO, Edis introduce you to Movidius. So we are able to utilize all these technologies. Also, our appliances are validated to withstand the taxing data write loads and certified for bandwidth capabilities. Essentially, this is a partnership of PCD, VSS, Intel, Milestone, Allgovision, all of us coming together. To give you a perspective to this, a lot of you as integrators in the audience today, or consultants, you've seen more of a DIY approach, where the integrator does a lot of things themselves, like where they would, if they decouple the solution. So they're getting hardware from one source, they're getting software from another source. It could be the video management software, the VMS platform, the analytics platform, the machine learning, deep learning solutions. Now, what happens is these solutions are sometimes not very tightly integrated. Here's where we play a vital role, because we have developed this bespoke approach of developing platforms which are actually meant and designed from the ground up for that exact workload. We understand the software's environment, we understand what Milestone needs, we understand what Allgovision needs. So we do optimization and tuning to make sure that these applications have their best performance. So it's like adding extra whistles to the whole solution, right? In doing that, VSS offers holistic infrastructure solutions for safe city projects. So we offer server storage, workstations, virtualization, network architecture related products, GPU and VPU based solutions, and support. VPU, I don't know how many of you come across this, but VPU is vision processing units, the Moveris type of a technology that Intel spoke about. We have thoroughly tested, benchmark, and certified our solutions to be able to run these VPUs, and thereby it actually brings a lot of savings in your solution. In terms of our Milestone story, we can offer you anything that you need from Milestone, from your recording servers, management servers, smart client stations, mobile servers, the external storage for it, and of course, most importantly, which is why we're here today, our powerful and efficient AI, deep learning, and video analytics platform, which is not only built on the latest Intel scalable Xeon Silver and Gold processors, but it's actually optimized for OpenVINO. It uses the Moveris VPUs. All our Milestone solutions are Milestone verified. They are pre-engineered appliances for Milestone. They come with the Milestone X Product Inside label on it as part of the system builder program. And with Allgovision, we have optimized the full solution to utilize everything that you need from a technology standpoint. We not only walk the talk, but we talk the talk also. So that's very important because our solutions typically are performance guaranteed. So to give you an example here, let's say if we designed a recording server to run 100 cameras for Milestone, it will run 100 cameras. And if it does not run 100 cameras and there's a shortfall, we are liable for it. We are responsible for it. So if that means, if extra memory needs to be added, we will do that. If extra storage needs to be added, we will do that. Extra CPU it needs to be added, we'll do that. It's all at our cost. You don't have any liability as long as we design the solution together. Today, during the course of the presentation, we are going to really talk about our architecture and our sizing for the combined solution. And I'll let our friends from Milestone and Allgovision tell you more about that and introduce you to the joint solution that we are bringing to the market. And we're happy to also take any of your questions later in the presentation. With this, without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Allgovision. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Rohit, Edis, and Haider for the introduction and explaining how the combined solution could address some of the key challenges which the cities are facing today. What I will be covering as part of my presentation would be to actually give an overview about our video analytics solution, how it fits into the puzzle of addressing some of these challenges which the city officials are facing today to address running a safer and smarter city. To start with, to give an overview about Allgovision. Allgovision, we as a company started in 2019. We're very focused on developing a video analytics and video analytics product company since the starting of the company. So what we did over 11 years, right, from 2009 to today, is continuously invest on developing algorithms and applications to address some of the most challenging scenarios which we see in the field. It is ranging from traffic management in various cities in India and building a very accurate license plate recognition software, or addressing the crime or criminal search or suspect search in cities in Mexico and Brazil based on our face recognition solution, or to actually address security and people management in various airports from Africa to Middle East to India. So addressing these challenges, we actually build a very comprehensive video analytics platform which addresses the requirements which our customers came back to us, which include things like perimeter protection and security to an intelligent traffic management to better crowd management in different scenarios to a very accurate facial recognition. So how we built it, we actually looked at technology and the components which could efficiently develop an algorithm which addresses a few things. One is accuracy. Second is cost per channel. Third is false alarms, which is a key challenge of any video analytics solution. So we built a platform which addresses each of these requirements. And today we have implemented this across different markets, primarily focusing some of the key verticals, which include smart cities, smart buildings, traffic, retail segment. So the solutions today range from very efficient city traffic management to suspect search in one of the most crime-ridden cities in Latin America. So the solutions are proven, solution has been tested and deployed in the market. So just today in this presentation, I would like to really focus on the topic, which is the use cases, which is relevant for smart cities. So what are the challenges which we face in a smart city? The government officials which run the smart city is faced with multiple challenges, which includes safety, security, and the pandemic has added a new challenge to the list. If you look at the different agencies involved, right from law enforcement to public safety to traffic management, there are different challenges which goes from preventing the traffic violations to solving crimes to enforcing the new norm, social distancing, a safer workplace, or secure public places, to really doing parking management or a traffic management efficiently in the city. So what I will look at is the solutions which we offer today for each of the segments. To go a little more detail, what does a traffic violation means for a city? The law enforcement, which actually manages the traffic or enforce the traffic violation, look at red light violation, wrong way detection, illegal parking, speeding. These are standard use cases which we see everywhere. But how do you actually enforce this? Enforce this is by integrating with an advanced number plate recognition, so that real-time monitoring of the traffic or all the cities' roads are done, and the violators are recognized, and an automation of the traffic ticket is managed. Just to give an example of the how the solution works, this is a small video. So this is a showcase of our solution integrated with Milestone Smart Client. So what you can see is a real time, the vehicle's number plate is captured, recognized, and displayed in the Smart Client. So that is a real-time use case. So now coming back to a use case where you have a crime or a violation is already established or already done. So that means there is hit and run use case. The vehicles involved is not identified because it is a hit and run use case. So you need to actually identify who has done it, how it can be resolved. So we have a very powerful tool based on our existing algorithm, what we call as a forensic search tool, where the metadata which is required to actually identify this vehicle or this incident, which could be anything from a vehicle type, which is a car, bus, what happened, a color of the vehicle or make and model of the vehicle, can be identified by searching archive videos across the cameras which is available around there. See, for example, an event has happened in a particular junction. So there could have been multiple cameras which there. Some of them had video analytics, some of them didn't have any video analytics on. So how do we actually get a realistic identification of the vehicle. So what we could do is get the input of these videos archived in the VMS, the Milestone's VMS, get this as input to our system, run the data run the analytics to create metadata. The metadata is created could be vary right from direction of the car, the speed of the car, the type of the vehicle, and then you can look at the region and drill down, saying that okay, all black cars which went into this direction, which is a sedan or SUV, can be first identified. Then looking at the timeline, looking at the direction, looking at the potential potential locations, we could narrow down to minimum number of cars, and then they can maybe require if required to a manual search to actually identify the vehicles. So what we're seeing is more and more for law enforcement is that it is not real-time video analytics which is required, which is anyway required for red light violation or speeding or parking management solution, but also post-event analysis to actually understand or identify culprits is a requirement. So combined solution, which includes our real-time analytics with the forensic search, this becomes a very strong tool for law enforcement to actually maintain and enforce traffic violations in the city. So again, the scenario changes depending upon where this is implemented. Say, for example, we do a speeding detection. The speeding detection is not just a Lamborghini speeding or running multiple red light violation. It could be that an unsuspected vehicle which is going above a certain speed in a busy mall area can mean completely different to for the law enforcement. And it could be a terrorist activity, it could be something which is dangerous, where the action which needs to be done is different. So what we're saying is that use cases which we implement or which we actually do could be different for different scenarios. Scenarios where there is a mall with a limited number of red light, but the speed is maintained, then the scenario changes. You're not looking for a fast-moving vehicle to actually give them a ticket, but looking for a anomaly which is happening because the event is different from what is normally happening. So same is the case with people. So if you look at the city always have a challenge of identifying criminals or culprits. So there is always a database which is available with the police or law enforcement so that they could actually look or real time to see if that person is tracked or identified or found in a particular situation which is not normal. So what we do is we could enable the law enforcement either for real time or in the forensic mode, the face recognition solution which we've implemented, which can look for the suspects from the database. And once this suspect is identified, we can track them on a real time. So we use our face recognition based blacklist identification. And once it is identified in a vehicle or in a location, it can be notified to the police or the law enforcement, and they also can be tracked. So this becomes a very powerful tool. There are definitely challenges with respect to where it's implemented and how efficiently it is. So we do a combination of real-time analytics on cameras where it is important for the police to actually detect, and the post-event analysis based on a forensic, where if an event happened and you want to look for certain people in that location, it could be done on a post-analysis as well. This is just a video which talks about, which shows our video and like face recognition in a crowded area. So this is like any city center or any crowded place where the camera is focused on the people, and you have a database where the people, the face or the people, the suspect list is available, and on a real time, the person who are in the field of view is being monitored, and if there is a suspect which is there matching the database, then that goes as an alarm, and it pops up in the Milestone smart client, and also get notified depending upon what is the next action which is required. Social distancing. I think it's a very key buzzword which everybody is today hearing. The post-pandemic has brought in a lot of challenges. Even the real challenging is how we identify and track people with respect to the crowding, with respect to managing queues, with respect to letting people in and out of public places. So what we see is this is going to be operational in multiple scenarios, in work, in public places, even at apartment complexes. And this is going to be a norm for at least the coming years. So it's definitely a public safety requirement. So how do you actually maintain social distancing? So this is done in a couple of ways. One is to actually do a counting of crowd. So at real time, you do the crowd counting and understand, okay, how many people are available at a certain location. Or it could be combined with the distance between the people and the crowd. That means the congestion which is created and how close the people are also a combination of queue management. So if there is a crowd which includes a queue which is formed for a certain activity, how do you actually make sure that the queue is managed well, they're maintaining certain distance? So the social distancing involved not only just actually maintaining a distance within a particular public place, also to actually maintain distance when a queue is formed, maintain when the event happens in, say, a metro station or inside a metro. So we can deploy these solutions effectively to actually do the counting, realistically look at the distance which is maintained by the people, and take action in terms of letting the people know that they have to disperse, or actually restricting the number of people going into a particular location. So this becomes an effective tool for law enforcement from an enforcement perspective, so that till this pandemic is over, there is a social distancing maintained and enforced by the law enforcement. Coming along with that is the mask detection. So now mask is becoming mandatory in many countries, especially in the Middle East, if it's already been enforced. So how do you actually enforce this in a public place or in an office? So in a public place, it is mostly to actually make sure that people are identified and then asked to actually do use a mask. But when it comes to offices and buildings, access control can be linked to it, so that if a person who is not wearing a mask can be restricted entry based on linking with access control. So we effectively today does this mask detection integration with the different applications which include access control. The workplace is another key challenge which everybody is facing. So each of us are today working from home, but it's not very far that we are asked to actually be in office. So the companies want to identify the employees or visitors who are coming in and maintain that their fever, if they have any symptoms, like checking for fever. So for workplace safety, there is no touching, so contactless access control, and maintaining social distancing so that distance is maintained while coming in, going out, maintaining the number of people in an elevator. So a safer workplace involves a combination of social distancing, contactless access control, integration of thermal cameras with fever detection, and tracking them post events. See, for example, if a person is identified to be having a fever, and then later he or she is identified as turned positive, we could do a post-analysis contact tracing, wherein, like, if the person was in the building for a certain period of time in certain days, based on the post-analysis, like based on our forensic search, we could do a contact tracing, understanding who all he or she was in touch with, and how those people can be contacted and tracked for further spread. So we do this based on our face recognition, integrated with thermal cameras, and employed with other solutions like people counting, crowd counting, and the social distancing tools. Combine this with security. So this is a standard requirement irrespective of the scenario which we face, that security in public places like unaccompanied baggages or suspicious movements which is happening, or loitering. So these are standard use cases which any city officials, building managers, or law enforcement would deploy to actually make sure that the public places or offices or buildings are safe. Now coming back to the traffic management part of it. So the traffic management differs from the traffic violation part. So this is, as we all know, that the traffic is only going to increase. The number of cars are going to be more and more in the city. So how do you actually efficiently manage the traffic? So this is an evolving requirement. The key thing is the accuracy at which we get this data, and the realistic and time-bound data to actually make sure that the vehicle or people counting, like the vehicle counting or congestion detection, is reported real time, and using this data to actually plan for the future traffic management solutions. So this more or less works as a framework for the city officials to plan peak time traffic management rules, as well as to actually look at real-time deployment of resources like traffic police or traffic lanes to actually manage traffic. So what we offer is, as part of this, is output of data, which is vehicle counting data, congestion detection, integrated with data analytics tools, which comes from third party, so that some of this planning can be managed real time or offline. The parking manager or parking lot management, which is more to do with buildings and public parking lots, where an ANPR-based solution can be easily implemented for ease of operations. This is mainly focusing on two aspects: the ease of operations and the cost reduction in terms of the people or personnel which is required. It also addresses things like how do you automate the spaces available, how do you actually make sure that real-time reporting is of available car park spaces are maintained. So this is one of the videos which talks about illegal parking detection as part of our solution. This is a real-time scenario which we implemented in Singapore. So this the blue box indicates the selected zone for monitoring. So the vehicle is monitored here to actually make sure that there's illegal parking is not done. So it is allowed to actually stand for a certain period of time. The minute the time slot increases, it actually showcases that, okay, the red box is shown and it is going as an alarm to the smart client saying that, okay, an illegal parking is detected. So this can be implemented across the city in different locations where the parking is monitored. Sorry.
Thanks, Ajay. That was really insightful of how different use cases can really be used to implement the safe city environment. Very insightful information. Thanks for sharing different use cases with us. So here I like to give this whole technology a holistic approach. So we have discussed different pieces of technology, Milestone as a video management platform. Then we have backend infrastructure coming in from VSS, and Intel, who provides the VPUs and processors to run all those intensive algorithms, and Allgovision bringing in those algorithms, providing artificial and machine learning algorithms that different use cases have. So how do we bring these different technologies together in a holistic approach so that you have pretty much a full-blown solution that you can take and implement in your use cases or for your safe cities environments? So if you look from, I'll start from the left side, you have cameras, which are your edge devices, optical sensors, could be IoT sensors, giving you all the data that you need. And it could be video in our case. And Milestone gets those feeds, process that video, and you have a platform now available with the video data that you can use for different purposes. And that's where our community partners comes in. Moving forward, we have the backend infrastructure, the VSS servers with Intel chipsets, providing you the infrastructure to run all those amazing use cases that Allgovision has just showcased, depending on your requirements, the face recognition, ANPR, crowd counting, queue management, traffic violation, so on and so forth. And this is where the whole magic happens, basically. So we have Intel Movidius VPUs and Intel CPUs hosted on VSS chassis, pretty much fully optimized. And Allgovision runs their uses OpenVINO inference servers from Intel to optimize the whole algorithm. Now, what is also very important to understand here is, yes, it's good to implement all these technologies and the use cases, but when we talk about these large safe cities, what Ajit just mentioned, the Singapore, India, and other places across the globe, you might as well looking at several thousand number of cameras. So how do you optimize? And it obviously it requires implementing a safe city solution requires a lot of investment. So what is the smart way to implement those safe city solutions? How do we optimize the backend infrastructure that is required to run those analytics, to run those all the innovations and use cases that we have talked about? And that's where our technology comes into picture. So just to give you a very broad scenario here, if you look at it, VSS, a simple off-the-shelf 2U chassis with Intel Gold scalable processors, the ability on even on the 2U chassis, the ability to host 7 Intel Movidius VPUs. You have the options for SSDs and fully optimized backend infrastructure with OpenVINO. Now, simple scenario, just giving you examples. Yes, I understand it depends on many other factors, but this can be used as to see how we use Intel, VSS, Milestone, and Allgovision when we bring these technologies together, how we really optimize the whole infrastructure for you, just to give you a very broad picture on that. So with this chassis, 2U chassis, you are able to run 24 facial recognition channels, 60 ANPRs if you want, and 90 channels for crowd counting, queue management, traffic version. And how do we achieve that? This is where Intel value proposition kicks in. The Intel Movidius VPUs that optimizes and bring all this performance that you need to run those algorithms, artificial algorithms. So just giving an example how a holistic approach into how we bring these technologies together. It looks very broad, it looks complicated, but that's where our technology partnership comes into picture. Now, all of this that we have talked about, the facial recognition, ANPR, crowd counting, for your, if you want to kickstart your solution for your safety, that can actually fit in just in a VSS2U appliance, which is fully optimized with Intel chipset, with tweaked for running Milestone and Allgovision applications. So you can reach out to us. If you have any inquiries, we can offer you a fully optimized solution for your requirements that can be very cost effective. You can lower down your total cost of ownership, and yet you have all those capabilities and nice use cases that we showcase here today. Now, if there are any questions, just to let you know, this webinar is being recorded as well. So all of you will get the recording, and you can even reach out to us later if you have any questions regarding any one of us, Intel, Milestone, VSS, and Allgovision. I'll take questions now as well. So I'll read out the questions and I'll pass it on to relevant. So the first question is, what is the 3.1 Gbps recording? Is it per server? Yes, it is per server, and it is verified and validated. It's with full HD resolution, 25 FPS, but based on one server spec that we have benchmarked with one of our partners. So I can share the details with you later on that benchmark that we have done. So yes, it is 3.1 gig throughput, recording throughput on a single server. Adis, this is a question for you. Can you indicate range of Intel Edge devices which is having AI capabilities?
Thank you, Haider. Well, obviously, as I mentioned, there are Movidius-based and Intel standard CPU-based cameras. But more and more, I would say the trend is using the camera streams or video streams and analyze the data on the edge devices, which could be VSS server. So VSS is a perfect example of optimized video appliance server, which has Intel Xeon processors as well as capable of having Intel Movidius-based acceleration cards, which are coming in PCI Express form factor. So I would say VSS-based servers are perfect examples. But if there's a need for AI-based cameras which have Movidius-based chips, please reach out to me. I can give you more information. I don't know if you have my email, but it is adis.altun, altun @intel.com, and I can give you more information on Intel-based cameras. Thank you.
Adis. Adis, the next one is for you as well. Is there anything from Intel CPU which can have AI capabilities?
Thank you. Great question. So the processor that is being used in VSS servers, and that the one that you just highlighted in the last slide, showing the 24 channels of face recognition, it has the second generation Intel Xeon processors, and those processors have, first time in Intel history, have deep learning boost capability. So the first time we introduced deep learning capability, which is embedded in the processor itself. So it has VNNI, virtual neural network instructions capable, and it gives you additional boost on deep learning. So even using the only Xeon CPU, which has deep learning boost technology, you can have a very high level of artificial intelligence performance as well, without using any Movidius chip-based acceleration cards. But obviously, if it is not enough, you can always add more. But again, back to the answer to your question, second generation Xeon scalable processors have deep learning boost capability, and so it is the one that the VSS servers are using in this scenario. Thank you.
Thank you, Adis. The next one, I believe both Adis and Ajit can answer. What is a field of view for forensic search? And do we have sort of a white paper on GPU comparison or VPU comparison in Intel's case?
Just to the field, so for forensic search, there is no specific field of view. What we are saying is any recorded video could be an input for forensic search. So we actually get that recorded video, run all algorithms, to actually create metadata. So, and then the search can happen on the metadata. So, which means the metadata which is created is based on face recognition, based on license plate recognition, based on object classification, based on directions, based on speed, all possible use cases. And then depending upon the incident which you're looking for, you can search and narrow down the data and come to the specific use case.
Yeah, Ajay, just to add to that, so I think if I understood correctly, the question also highlights if there are GPU comparisons. So that is the benchmarks, right? That depends on the camera resolutions, the type of camera, frame per second, and we take all those parameters and then we come back and give you the results of what server and VPU sizing that you need. If you would like to add in anything here, Ajay.
Right. So basically, the forensic search, what we are saying is it's a little different from live analytics. We are looking at queuing up data and doing the metadata as and when, like metadata on a recorded video. So it's defined for a certain set of hardware, and once the data input is coming from the VMS, we keep creating metadata. So we have benchmarks saying that, okay, standard server, like what you have shown, Haider, standard server which running X number of MoviDS cards can do 20 cameras, so 30 cameras with face recognition, license plate recognition, and other analytics. So we can definitely share the specifications, and depending upon how many cameras you want to do simultaneously, we can come back with the hardware configuration.
Thank you, Ajay. The next question is for Adiz again, and an interesting question actually, Adiz. OpenVINO technology, and where do we stand now in terms of adoption and implementation of these technologies using OpenVINO?
OpenVINO adoption, we are ready. I mean, there are so many partners and users are already using OpenVINO, and it's out for more than 2 years now. And you know, you can start using OpenVINO and OpenVINO based algorithms like from Allgovision immediately today. And it is out, it is ready, deployable, and constantly improved. As I said, we are committed to AI inferencing using OpenVINO, and we are improving and launching new version of OpenVINO every quarter, and see significant performance gains, and we will continue doing so. But deployment wise, it is ready, and you can use it as effective as of today. So
just like to add here, just like to add here as well, the use cases that you've seen today from Allgovision are fully optimized on OpenVINO as well. So Allgovision itself is a great example where they've adopted and they've optimized their algorithms using OpenVINO, so highly optimized. And the example that I showed, the 2U chassis that I spoke about, that's the optimization, and that's the benefit that adoption of OpenVINO can bring to you and for your partners.
Correct. Thank you, Haider.
Thank you. Ajay, if you like to talk about some factors which is important to find the accuracy level of vehicle detection in terms of color, type, model. What are those key factors that one should consider when deciding on the accuracy of vehicle identification, color, and everything?
So, the color, make, and model. So normally what we see is a combination of the angle at which the camera is placed plus the resolution of the camera. So for a typical use case like number plate recognition, if it's on a highway, we see a standard 1080p resolution camera is good enough for us to actually detect the plates at whatever speeds which the vehicles are passing, and then do the recognition. That's for number plate. The same camera can be used for color make and model as well. So today, a camera, in any HD camera with resolution from 720p to 1080p can, with a very high accuracy, do the color make and model as well as the number plate recognition. We do have recommendations with respect to the angle at which the camera is to be mounted, the lighting conditions which is required if you are actually looking at day and night. But that's something which we can share from a technical data sheet point of view. But otherwise, from a resolution camera requirement point of view, is any 1080p camera with a decent shutter speed is good enough for us to do number plate, color, make and model.
Thank you, G. I can see that we have already run out of time. This webinar will definitely be shared. The email addresses will be shared. You'll get the follow-up email with the recording as well. So for further questions, I suggest that we take it through email since we're running out of time. One more thing, after this webinar ends, you'll get an email with the feedback. So if send questions if you have any feedback that you would like to know. So just give us your feedback, and if there's anything more or further you would like to discuss, you can always reach out to us. Thank you all the panelists who have joined us today, sharing your insights and giving us very nice use cases to implement safer city solutions with artificial intelligence. Thank you, Intel, VSS, and Allgovision. Thanks for joining us. Uh, Last but not least, thank you all for attending the webinar, and we look forward to engage with you in future as well. Like I said, you will be getting the recording as well as our email addresses. So if you have any further queries, do reach out to us. We'll be happy to assist you with your queries. So thank you very much. Thanks all for joining. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you all.